Only way to do a Waratah podcast.
Swatting?
Swatting.
Swatting.
Swatting flies. But I don't know what we're going to talk about, but if you want to, we can talk about when you first started getting into music.
Yeah, well, that's a long while ago, really.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back there then.
Okay. My earliest interactions with music, I remember, is in the car with my dad and brother, coming back from my nan's house in Minto, and we listened to John Denver and John Butler Trio a lot for some reason. We had like little CDs that we'd like burn like tracks onto with like media player, and we put them in. And I remember a lot of John Denver and John Butler Trio when I was younger.
So essentially, you were making like your own mixtapes.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
pretty much. And then I don't know. I guess I've always listened to music since like I was a little tiny baby.
Of course. When did you start getting into the physicality of music? So playing, was drums your first?
Yeah. That's weird because I don't remember much. I have a shit memory. But I started getting drum lessons at Jam Studios in Campbelltown.
Cool. Yep.
And I must have been like, 6 or 7, maybe even younger when I started doing that with this guy named Aaron.
Yep.
And I don't know. My brother did drums as well, and he was really good at it. And I was, I just wasn't that into it. I kind of got bored and stuff. And then after that, still at Jam Studios, I was like, nah, I don't want to play drums anymore. I want to play guitar. And that was when I was like 8 or something.
Yep.
And then so my parents started sending me to guitar lessons with a guy named Adrian. And then they bought me my first guitar, which was a Epiphone Les Paul.
Nice.
I still have it.
Okay, cool.
I love it so much. It's the only electric guitar I've ever owned.
Yep.
And I don't know. Yeah, so it all kind of started there physically. And then after guitar, after a while, I got bored again. And then I switched back to drums, I think in like year 6.
Yep.
So, and I started playing like drums for the school band, which was like an orchestra band.
Yeah,
so
cool,
it was like, not like full kit stuff. But yeah, that's where drums started.
I guess, did you want to start playing because of what you brought up, the point of moving to another instrument because you were bored? Do you think it may be playing, even today, sometimes the point of it might be because that boredom is kicking in? When you were a younger kid, were you quite
bored easily?
Bored or hyperactive? Or
I don't really know what I was like. Like I look at little kids and I'm like, was I really like that annoying or something?
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
No, but I don't think I was like hyperactive. I don't think I was bored easily. I just like, I don't know. It's not that I was bored easily. I just wanted to like see what else there was.
Yeah, definitely, of course. And I guess that mentality I can see now in you still. Because I guess let's try, before we get to where you're at now and how that kind of works, let's get to when was the Fat Controllers your first band, and if that was, how did you get to that?
Yeah, so the Fat Controllers was the first ever like real band that wasn't like school related. I mean, it technically was, but still not. Like, we were in school. I think it was year 10. I'm pretty sure. And there was 5 of us, and I think it was Gerard and Harry that came back, and they went to their first Ocean Alley gig, I think.
Okay.
Right. And then they came back and they were like, we have to start a band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there were 5 of us. So we had singer, 2 guitarists, bass and drums. As any band starts, the bass and guitar was just being swapped around all over the place.
Yep.
So whoever wanted to play what. I stayed on drums and Josh stayed on vocals.
Yep.
And then that was year 10 and about half of year 11, I think.
Yep.
And we we were happy with it, and we were writing originals and stuff like that. I say we, but like, it was like Josh and Gerard, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I just know that I wasn't a part of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we had originals and everything, and we were like 16, turning 17. It was fun, and then Josh moved to America and Kane moved to Cronulla, so it kind of just left us with Gerard, Harry, and I.
Yeah.
And then that was us at school. I think we learnt one song while we were there. While we was like in year 11, I think we literally, before we like found a bassist, because it was just 2 guitars and drums. We learnt like one San Cisco song, and it was terrible. It sucked.
Okay.
And that's really
the start of the Fat Controllers to an extent. Okay, cool. And where did you think that was going? Because this is a funny conversation that I tend to have, and Michael Kalk actually brought this up, not in the last podcast, but we've had a couple of chats before, and the way that he explained the music industry, which was quite good, was it's like, you know, that horror movies when you get into the tunnel and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the further you go in, the further it seems to get, and it just seems to stretch even further. Do you think that it kind of, like, when you first started playing in a band, what were your goals or expectations, you know, time, like literally the first, like, when did you guys think you were going to be playing like Splendor?
In that case, when we first started and we had like those originals up and running, we were like, alright, we'll be playing festivals in like 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously we knew in a sense that that's just not going to happen, that's not how it works.
Yep.
But we were like, yeah, let's do it, let's give it a go. And then we got serious about it and everything like that. It was a nice little start, but it all got stunted pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, cool. And do you think that it kind of got stunted before it even really started? Or where do you think that point where you started taking it seriously?
Yeah.
And is this when Jake started getting into the situation?
No, this was before. This was when it was still the 5 of us, and
Yep.
we were like, we had originals, and we were like playing, and we practiced at school, and I mean, really, I think we had one practice outside of school, and that was in Harry's garage, that I wasn't even there for.
Were you guys playing any gigs or?
No, we just played stuff like for school. Did we play any? No, we didn't play any gigs except one thing at school, I think.
Did you see other bands around that time that were doing anything locally, or was there anything?
Yeah, yes. And at this time, there was the Shang gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they played Hamden Civic Centre. I had no idea who any of them were.
Did you go to that?
No,
Okay,
I didn't. I had no idea who any of them were except Michael.
Yeah.
That was really the only sort of people around that I knew were actually doing anything. Like, people I knew especially. I mean, I only knew Michael, but at this time I basically was not friends with anyone other than people inside my school.
Yeah.
Like, Michael was the only person I knew doing anything really.
Okay, cool. So you started getting serious about it. When did you guys? So when did Jake get into the situation? That's where I want to find that out.
So Jake got into the situation about a year ago, probably. I'm sure, like, it's pretty close to it, almost like a year ago now.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. I don't know if it was October or November, but yeah, he came into the situation because we literally put up a status on Facebook and was like, does anyone know, like, someone who can play the bass? And then Jake messaged us and he's like, I can play the bass.
Cool.
And then
Did you know him prior?
I didn't know him. Gerard and Harry knew him. I didn't know him because, again, I wasn't really friends with anyone. And then I met him and he was really cool. Gave me a hug. I'm like, what school do you go to? He's like, oh, I go to Magdalene. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've got no idea who you are. And he's like, you ever see that video of that kid eating a fish? And I'm like, oh, that's you. Okay, yeah. And then I was just in love with the kid from that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. And then I guess that's when I know that I was friends with Jake, and Jake joined the band. And I remember seeing the video that went up. I think it was the first video that Fat Controllers put up on their Facebook.
Yeah.
I remember that video went up and it went like decently well.
Yeah, it went alright.
And so that's when I started sussing you guys out and maybe taking you guys a little bit seriously, like on a, you know, from an industry standpoint.
I think that was the cover of Easy, was that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Exactly
I
right.
hate that so much.
So that came out. I remember listening to it, and that's when we were around that time. That's when we were talking, because I was looking after the Shang at that point. I was doing gigs at Upstairs at Fred's. We were talking about, hey, we should do a gig, the Shang gig at Upstairs at Fred's. Who should we chuck on the lineup? And I think we had like third hour.
Yeah, it was third hour.
But we didn't really speak a whole lot about like having heaps of bands. We just were like, oh, let's just do 2 bands or whatever and a soloist, because that's all we were doing was soloists.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about it and we were like, hey, let's chuck the Fat Controllers on, because they seem to be doing some really cool shit, and that video was awesome. So let's chuck them on. And so we chucked you guys on. And I kept following you guys up until the gig, and I was really impressed with what happened. So was that gig like kind of your first gig?
We have a knack for doing little practice gigs
Yeah,
at like
cool.
parties or like tiny like little events that no one knows about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first gig that wasn't like a party really,
Yeah.
because I think it was either the week before, like the night before or something. We did a gig at Aaron's house, a
Okay,
gig.
cool, yeah.
But like we just played the exact same set as
Yeah.
like a practice.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then, what was it like performing in front of, because you guys had a fairly good crowd.
Yeah, we had a few people. Yeah.
And what was that like performing, going from like, how many people did you play at Aaron's?
Not a lot.
Okay, and then, so then kind of polar opposite to...
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone at Aaron's was there the next, like,
Yeah.
at the Fred's gig, and then even more people. It was like, I don't know, because like it wasn't really anyone that like outside of people we knew and like our friends and stuff, but it was like such a good feeling to be playing like a public gig with like your best friends in the front row and just like cheering you on. It was nice. It was a
Yeah,
good feeling.
Dev, where do you guys think that, because I know there's some people who are trying to start playing some gigs now, what do you think would be some, not advice, but like how did you guys get to the point of going, all right, we need to start playing some gigs and booking some gigs? Like, how did that happen for you guys?
We met Jake.
Okay.
That's how that happened,
Okay,
basically.
cool.
Yeah. And when Jake first started, and for the first like 4 months, probably longer, he was kind of like the powerhouse of the
Yeah.
band, just like really driving us, like, and like talking to you, because he knew you the best, and like
Yeah.
he was just like talking to us about like, hey, let's do this gig, let's practice here, and just really basically just organizing everything for us at that point. He was doing social media as well.
Yep.
He was just doing everything. So I think my advice in some sense would just to get to know people, get out to shows, meet all these people, friends of friends, and eventually you'll get lucky.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess it's kind of taken its time now for the Fat Controllers to start to mature and develop, and you guys
Yeah.
have your HSC and all that, so that's now just finishing up.
Yeah.
And so then recently, so Jake's now left the Fat
Yeah,
Controllers.
that's right.
We spoke about in the Waratah podcast before with him, and then I guess now where are you guys at and what's happening with the Fatties? Because I want to kind of tee this off in some way of like being the podcast that goes, hey, this is the Fat Controllers, where they're like,
Yeah.
I guess you're kind of in the band, you're like in that. So what's happening? Where are you guys at?
Right now, so we just finished HSC, and then the three of us are very happy with that. We're all Gerard's at schoolies, Harry's down the coast, I'm playing games every day at home, and we've gone ahead and acquired a new bassist who's
Yep.
also doing backing vocals. That's Zane.
Yep.
He's pretty fucking amazing,
Cool.
and he's just another powerhouse basically.
Yep.
He drives us, he talks to us, he talks about all these covers he wants to do, all these ideas he has for
Yep.
the originals and stuff. He's been such a massive help, and especially with this week that we just took off.
And so yeah, that's what I want to talk about. That so you guys took a week off for a writing kind of
Yeah,
session because you guys are looking to push a really hard 2019.
Yeah.
That writing session, those writing sessions, what were they like?
They were good because one of the songs was like already written basically. And then we went there and because we knew it was already written, we just smashed it out and just recorded a demo of it. And then that's when we figured that Zane is like, he's just, I don't know, he's just got it. And then he was just like, oh, we should chuck these harmonies in here, I'm gonna change the bass line. And then we moved on to the next song, which was like half written as well. And that flowed like so easily. That was done within like 18 hours or some ridiculous amount.
Yep.
And then we moved on to another song. So we only got the 3 songs done, but this last song that we did was like the most complicated song we've written before. Like it's more than 4 chords and bass playing root
cool.
notes and stuff like that. It was amazing like how productive we were. Like
Yeah.
we did not expect to get that much shit done, to be honest. And there was no fights either, which was
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. That's always a plus, I guess. But I've now listened to the 3 demos essentially. I'm quite impressed with where they're at and all that. And your songwriting has adapted. Do you think that's just because you guys have just done it a lot more? You guys have been writing a lot more, and it's maybe just been a process like that, or do you think it's just the stars kind of aligned for that week, and you guys got really done.
No, I think I think the stars aligned and whatever, the universe was on our side, and on top of that, before writing originals, it was really like only Gerard and Harry doing the chords and the words and the melody and stuff like that. But there's 4 of us doing it now, and you know, I don't know, 4 brains are better than 2 in a sense. And I think having like all these different backgrounds musically like contribute to this song is the reason that it has like they've adapted so much past like I don't know.
Do you think that everyone's individual influences, you can, you know, I think that from the demos that I've heard already, do you think that you can hear everyone's individual influences in this?
Yeah.
And how does that work as well? Do you think in a band sense, do you think it needs to be a one person, you know, taking control over the creativity, and then the others being, I guess, like not the slave to the creativity, but just doing as they're kind of told? Or do you think it should be a group process?
It depends on the person, because we don't have like, I don't know, when you've got, I don't know, I think it depends on if you've got some sort of like creative genius in there. Listen to them,
and use that.
Use that, but we don't really in a sense, so we kind of just all put in an equal amount, and you can hear it like Harry's like guitar, and you can hear it in Gerard's like I don't know, you can just you can hear everything kind of be put together.
Cool. 2019's looking pretty good. I think so. You know, if we can get these songs done, get those out, you know, hopefully start playing some shows, get you guys to a point where, you know, you guys can start selling out some rooms. I think that'd be really cool. But no, I guess that kind of, I didn't really have a whole lot more to talk about other than that. The songs are sounding good.
Thank you.
And we'll try to, you know, catch up again.
2019's looking pretty, I don't know, like, I'm assuming it's looking well, especially with these new songs and stuff.
Who do you think is the biggest influence now on these new songs, just that we can kind of get an idea for what they are? If you could give us one person who you think, or an artist, or it doesn't have to be an artist or anything, who do you think that they're most closely linked to, so we can get an idea for what they're going to sound like?
I don't know. I couldn't really put a finger on.
Was there anything you guys were listening to, or you guys were going, hey, let's try and make that?
No, but with one of the songs, it happened by accident. And we played it, and we put it together, and it was like this build-up section, and I'm like, this is The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Like, that's what I'm listening to right now. It was accidental completely. There wasn't... We didn't do a lot of listening to music, now that I think about it. We kind of just sat down and did it. But yeah, so I don't think... Probably because of that, I can't put my finger on like one sort of... or any artist.
I guess we'll just find out next year.
Yeah, we'll see. That's all right. Thank you.